The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, kings, queens, and the entire spectrum in between? It's your boy Kwame, and I'm back with yet another episode of Kwame Speaks. You ever started working on a project and got sidetracked? Do you have a ton of items on your to-do list? I'm going to show you a few techniques I use that won't require you to spend a dime and will help you tackle numerous items right on the other side of this intro. So you got homework, deadlines, and some pressing projects that you need to accomplish. Or you have a bunch of small administrative tasks to complete before a certain time, and you need what I call a power hour. So a power hour is basically a focus hour. You want to take this time to kind of remove all distractions, focus on the work that you need to do, and get your work accomplished. Now, there's a couple of things that I do to prep for a particular power hour or a focus hour, however you want to call it. First thing is first, organize your workspace. Whether you work from home, whether you work in an office, or whether you work on the go, your workspace needs to be organized, needs to feel comfortable. And that includes decorating it, making it yours, making it your space. Without that, you're not going to want to kind of work. When you're at home, when you get into a bed and it's been made, and you see the bed and it looks inviting, that's the same kind of concept that you need to have when it comes to your workspace. Your workspace needs to feel inviting, like you want to work there. Number 2, remove distractions. That means for at least an hour, 60 minutes, you can do this, y'all, put your phone away. That doesn't mean put it on vibrate and keep it in your space so you can see it. You need to either turn your phone off or put it on silent and put it in your desk so you cannot see the actual phone. What I tend to do, and what I've worked up to, is I turn my phone face down so that way I can't see the flashes or any of the notifications, so that way I don't get distracted. And a caveat to this also is put your phone, your work phone, or any type of communication on Do Not Disturb. I have a setting in Google where I won't be able to see any of my emails or get any notifications from my emails if I'm in this focus hour. So that way I can just completely focus on the tasks at hand and the things that I need to do. Number 3. Probably one of the most important things in my book is either create lists or have a planner. And in another episode, we're going to deep dive into my planner system because I do have a planner system and I think some of you guys will enjoy that. However, right now, if you don't have a planning system or a planner, a list of items or to-do list is just as good. The reason why your list or your planner is super important is because it leads me into the next kind of stage, which is your flow. Once you get into a flow, once you find your flow, you need to kind of stay in that. It's what I call kind of getting into that, rhythm, or Shonda Rhimes likes to call it the hum. It's when you're in your most creative space or you're in your most productive mode and you're just kind of knocking things out and doing everything that you need to do in your task list, or focusing on a particular project and knocking that out without any distractions. Some of the things that I utilize to aid in my flow and to aid in the activation of my flow is I utilize music. Now, not always will I use music that is with words or anything like that. I personally tend to listen to either instrumental music or specifically lo-fi. Lo-fi hip-hop has been my jam the past couple of months. But I've started out with classical music, something where you don't need to kind of get distracted with the song and you want, you don't feel like you need to dance to it. Sometimes I do bop my head to, some lo-fi music, but it's not so distracting where I want to do a full-out choreography and 8 count. Okay, and that's really your focus. You really want to utilize and have the ambiance and set the tone and the mood without distracting you from the task at hand. Another thing that I like to do to activate my flow is I will light a candle or light some incense just to kind of get that energy flowing. I also have a kind of a humidifier or those diffusers, rather. It's not a humidifier, it's a diffuser. And I'll put some oils in there, essential oils, and just to kind of give that comfortable vibe and just to kind of get into the flow and relax a little bit. I tend to use lavender and eucalyptus as well as peppermint. It's like one of my favorite mixtures. Sometimes some people are utilize lavender to fall asleep and relax. So if you feel like you're more susceptible to sleeping, then take the lavender out and just use eucalyptus or peppermint or whatever essential oil that you want to use. But I like to set the tone, really get that aromatherapy going, whether it be from a candle, from essential oils or humidifier or vape or oil diffuser or what have you, or even incense. Another thing that I do to keep myself in the state of flow is to make sure that I prioritize that list. And I'm going to go into a deep dive into this, but I learned this from an influencer, a YouTube influencer, and one of my favorite brand strategists out there, Erin Winters. You may have seen her on Erin on Demand on YouTube. And one of the things that she's made popular is the top 3 method. The top 3 method is to take 3 priorities for that day. That doesn't mean that you don't have any other tasks that you have to do. It doesn't mean that you don't have a list of things that you need to do. But if you take 3 things from that list for that day and you focus on those 3 things and you make sure that you're doing those 3 things and at least you try to knock those 3 things out, then you've been accomplished for that day. And in each day, you add a top 3. And then by the end of the week, you should have knocked out most of your list by then. And on top of that, if you've decided or if you've made it to the point where you have knocked out the top 3 early on the day, or you still have more time in your work schedule to add more tasks, go ahead and tackle the rest of that list. But focus on the top 3 at first. Now, even though you are in a state of flow, this is something that I have noticed that keeps me charged, keeps me going, and keeps me very focused. Corporate America has told you and indoctrinated all of us into taking big but less frequent breaks. My recommendation is to take frequent, short breaks. So I typically try to take a break every hour. It doesn't have to be a half an hour break. It doesn't have to be a 20-minute break. I try to take at least 5 to 10 minutes every hour to kind of refresh, get up, walk around. Even if I'm walking to the bathroom, or if I'm going to get some water, or if I'm taking a lap around the block, or if I'm, I typically work from home, so I do a lap around the block. I go check on my dog, or I will, do something else. I'll get up, or I'll walk around and stretch a little bit. It really takes you out of the feeling like the task is actually a burden, and gets you refreshed, and you can really go back and say, oh, okay, I took a minute. Now I can come back and see what this task overall is and add some new perspectives onto it. Trust me, it helps. Try taking more breaks, shorter breaks, but take more breaks nonetheless. And for those who know me, you guys know that I have a huge dance background. And one of my things is that every count counts. And it's kind of similar to take one step at a time. On your task list, you're going to have multiple things. It may seem daunting, and you can apply this to your corporate life or to your small business life. It doesn't matter what you're doing, or your creative life, however you want to use it. But every task that you have to do, every job that you have to do, take it one step at a time, because every single count counts. And what I mean by that is that a dancer has 8 steps that they have to flow through, and every step matters, even if one step is not as embellished as another step, or one move is not as flamboyant as another move. Each move is important. Each move flows into the next. And so that is the same thing with your task. Your task should flow into the next. Your task should give you, if nothing else, the feeling of accomplishment as you move from task to task to task. That way you're not feeling like you're being overwhelmed. That way you're not feeling like there's a huge, daunting, overwhelming list of things that you need to do. So my recommendation is to check them off. Let that be your flow. Let that be each step as you're going through your task list or your planner. And another thing that I typically say is what I call the 5 Ps. I actually learned this from a drill sergeant when I was in the military in basic training. Prior planning prevents potential problems. And I'll probably do a video on this at a later time. But remember that prior planning prevents potential problems. It's the 5 Ps. And basically, if you plan ahead of time, you will eventually eliminate a lot of the what ifs, or the potential unknown variables that may happen in the future, because you've already prepped for it. You've already had plans for it. Does that mean that variables or unknown variables won't happen? Absolutely not. They may, because Murphy's Law, right? But it gives you an opportunity to have plans in action and procedures in action for you to kind of prepare for that. And what I mean by that, and as it pertains to this particular topic, is that train your brain to concentrate. Just like you have to work out to train your body physically, just like you have to eat well to train your stomach to metabolize in certain ways, just like you have to learn and you have to practice certain things, your brain needs training as well. And so concentration needs training. There are multiple apps that you can download on your phone, whether it be on iPhone or Android, and you can download concentration apps. This will help you if you try to do this, prior to you doing your power hours or your focus sessions. This will help you in the long run, and it will make your concentration feel less daunting. It will make you feel stronger. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out www.pyromediaenterprises.com for all things Pyro Media. Or you can go to our production company if you need any type of media needs, whether it be audio, video, or even photography needs. And you can go to pyromediaproductions.com. Or if you're interested in watching some of our shows like this one, or becoming a part of our network, like to have a show like this one, you can go on to www.pyromedianetwork.com. And if you're interested in my personal services, KC3 is the strategy company for you. You can go ahead and give me a contact or contact the company at info@pyromedianetwork.com, and we will surely assist you in any type of brand strategy, productivity tips, any type of planning and development for your business. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed filming it. Shout out to my production staff for keeping me looking good on here because I couldn't do it without my team. So shout out to you guys, and thank you for making things smooth and for blessing me. All right, y'all. Well, I will see you guys on the next one. Enjoy. Create a great day.